Good evening and welcome back to the Mancunian way, where Manchester City have shown a set of gonads mentality. That's what champions do.
Do you mean we didn't lose 6-0? I thought we lost 6-0.
The way Mike was going on about it at half time, you think
all the whining. I've never seen more whining about an absolutely dominant victory away at a good team in all my years. Brilliant by City, and the fans. Some of the fans have lost their heads.
Oh, well, let's just hope it's the last of the winter wine.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Have you all finished living in Fairyland?
Seriously,
Fairyland.
Mike,
You have.
did Alan steal your
I just-
phone?
Yeah, 18
No, I'm
months.
just Ozzy. I didn't
18
sit there
months.
and go,
Is, yeah.
No, if anyone
Right,
doesn't know,
right.
no, let me explain. Hang on, whoa, before you all go in. What I said was, what every City other channel was saying, every other City fan was ever saying, is that there was 3 players that looked off in the first half. That's what I said.
Martin, I'm not
Again,
not for a second
certain players
talking about,
are protected
no,
because we
I'm not
like
talking about
them.
you, Martin.
and we
Martin,
can't
I'm not
say
talking
jack
about
shit
you.
about them.
I'm talking about the
They're absolute
absolute tirade across the City fan base.
I didn't tirade. I just said 3 players
No.
were crap in the first half.
Martin, I'm not talking about you. I'm not.
You was in this
not-
chat.
Yeah, but you were like about 1% of the nonsense from other people.
There's always a meltdown at half time.
You're a happy clapper. I'm never gonna, have
He wasn't
a
tonight,
pop at you for negativity.
No, he's not on.
Yeah.
He's gone to the Aussie Open tonight.
Thank goodness. I'd be giving him.
If I
I'd be
read
going
you
on an
the
hour-long
messages,
He'll be moaning and whinging in between points. It's that, yeah.
if I read you the
just
messages
wait.
I got from him,
Djokovic,
the
oh
first half,
shit.
we'd have no
He's-
11.
You know what?
No
He's
manager,
a
no
scout.
nothing.
Yeah, he's reached levels of Scouser with his bloody whining and entitlement.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. If you didn't know, Sod Kyle Walker. Listen, I'm going to talk about the Kyle Walker situation because I did get some info later on after the game, and I got a video sent. I'm trying to download it to talk and put it on here, but I've not been able to at the minute. Is that Kyle Walker and Pep at the moment at the end of the game? I don't know if anyone saw where Walker had tears in his eyes because from what I got told, Walker was begged to play today by Pep. Walker did not really want to play that game. Was not in the headspace, didn't want to be there. But because there was no Akanji, no John Stones, it was just go and do as a job. Go and do as a job. And yeah, first half, you could tell his head was not in that game at all. But we'll get into it all. But, I'm not going to fully go in. I know personal lives. I think we forget sometimes that players have got personal lives as well. I mean, I'm not going
But
to
also,
go into it all because you know what's happened with him this week.
Martin, there's some awfully unfair criticism, and a certain person who's at the Aussie Open's guilty of that.
Well, I'm going to blame Pep for this. Actually, the first
goal. Anthony Gordon is 15 yards out to the left of Isaac. Ortega's going across to the other side. Gordon's got a tap in. And all these armchair fullbacks who played 150 international games are brilliant, saying all Walker's fault. He let him go inside. If Walker had tried to let him go outside, Isaac would have laid a pass and they'd have had a tap in. And the same armchair fullbacks would have been saying, make him go inside. Outside was a tap into Gordon. Fact is, we were undermanned in defence and Walker had 2 players to deal with. Walker wasn't the player who was not in defence for that goal.
Yeah.
It was
what we'll do
else.
We'll go through the 11s, then we'll go around because I think the first half, we'll say Pep did change it second half. So we got to give Pep his credit. He changed it second half. But the 11 was quite simply Edison, Walker, Ruben Diaz, Aki Gabadio, Rodri, Kovacic, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Doku, and Alvarez. On the bench was Calvin, Grealish, De Bruyne, Ortega, Gomez, Nunes, Bob, Sissoko, and Luis. And the Newcastle lineup was what many people predicted for them as well. Dubravka in net, Trippier, Shah, Botman, Burn, Myler, Bruno Gomes, Sean Longstaff, Almiron, Isaac Gordon, Dummett, Sells, Richie Kraft, Carriers, Hall, Gillespie, Murphy, and Parkinson on the bench. Now, I'm going to ask, what did you all make? We'll go around and say, what did you all make of the formation in the first half? Because that was the bit I was swinging my head around at, of why we decided to play Doku in midfield and our fullbacks as wingers.
Yeah, I've been a bit. I don't think we found a really steady formation all season. I think we've had games like today where Doku and Foden almost seem to be 10s. We've had, I find the fullback thing problematic in that at times we seem to now have both fullbacks up at the same time. Whereas last season we seemed to have one go up and the other one slid in and we had that solidity. This season we seem to let both Guardiola and Walker be at the corner flags, which is on Pep, not on them. And
it's the way you say that. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And, then there's only two at the back. And so, the team.
Bring the Cancelo back. We're going to do this. We got rid of Cancelo for not doing that, and then we go to doing it.
Yeah, we got two. So I mean, I think the team was pretty much the only difference between the team we all called out on Friday was I think we didn't have Kovacic in.
I did. I just didn't have that formation.
I had Grealish. I had Grealish, Kovacic, but then Grealish has been sick, and clearly.
He's not in a good space at the moment either.
He needed a bit of rest.
It's one of them weird things where everyone's having a lot of off-field issues at the minute, or they're having injuries. Ozzy, what did you make of the 11? And, more importantly, the formation?
I like the 11. I think it was all a strong squad for the lineup. I had slight reservations about Doku starting just because, coming back off an injury, I didn't know if he was going to be able to do the full 90 or if there was a plan to take him off at some point. And then the formation, I think a lot of people, I get why people were kind of angry about the formation because of the two fullbacks flying up, but I think people forget that's how we got the goal, the first goal to begin with. It was because of Walker flying up, on the wing that produced that goal. So I think it worked to a point, but then we saw it didn't, for Newcastle's goals. I'll get more into what my thoughts about Newcastle afterwards. But, I was happy with the 11 and happy with the formation to begin with.
Pat?
Yeah, on paper, looked good. On turf, very surprised. Some of the movements some of the players were doing. You alluded to Doku in midfield at times, and God, I even remember there was periods there where Gvardiol was ending up further forward than Phil Foden, which is, he's a great ball playing footballer, but it's not his job. He's not there to do that sort of thing. I had a little bit of doubts with the fullbacks bombing forward so much. I just had this feeling. I was just like, it just takes one good long ball to your Isaks or to your Anthony Gordons or a bit of Almiron with space, and they're going to start asking questions of us. And they certainly did. I credit Newcastle for the way that they responded, because they scored their first goal in less than 10 minutes after we'd scored ours. So for me, that was just the manner in which they scored those two goals. There's a little bit of concern for me, given the fact too that I think Kyle Walker would have definitely been beating himself up to let both of those goals sort of come back inside, back from his inside, and be able to shoot and curl around the keeper. I think he'd be very disappointed with that, but I think that might be a little bit to do with the headspace he's in at the moment. But it was just it was bizarre. It was just a bizarre set of circumstances the way that we sort of lined up, and we can easily be critical of the manner in which we played and with the players that we had on the pitch, but let's not forget we were the first to score. So there was a sense of the formula was working in a way, but I felt like it was they're a quality opposition, Newcastle. I felt like it wouldn't have taken too long for them to sort of unlock it, and I was a bit surprised that they were able to unlock it so quickly after we'd scored the first.
It was a weird start because the first 5 minutes they came out as out the traps, just bang, which I wasn't really expecting of straight away. I thought they'd have been a bit more conservative, but they didn't. It just came straight at us.
Yeah, it was the first 1.5 minutes, wasn't it? Because Edison was injured for 3 of the first 5 minutes.
I'm going to get into this, right? Yeah. This is my issue.
Injured in the third, he went off in the
said for so long the AI was going to cause an injury at some point with the way it's done. And I understand this, they're trying to make the game flow. I understand the point of it. Let the move conclude and then they can go back and look. I understand what they're trying to do. But that caused Edison to have an absolute huge hole in his damn thigh by the end of it. Was not the Newcastle players' fault, 100%. I'm not saying it's anything to do with, was it Longstaff?
It was friendly fire.
Longstaff, yeah. Not saying it was Longstaff. Not saying it was. Because Longstaff was completely innocent out of all of it for me. But that whistle should have gone, or the flag should have gone up, stopped it all, and then Edison doesn't end up having to have a hole in his side, which, by the way, will probably get sewn back up. He'll have a 2 weeks nice rest, and he'll be back for Burnley. I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
He's never off for more than 1 or 2 matches.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's an impact injury, not a muscle or a tendon.
He's got an hole in his leg. No man, impact.
Yeah. And
I said to you guys in the WhatsApp chat, I said, look like he just played a football against Favela FC.
Yeah.
It looked like a bloody bullet wound.
Yeah, it looked like a bullet wound. So, I don't know. I mean, Ozzy, what did you make of the BAR and everything with the injury?
I mean, this is the second injury we've had because of this offside decisions, and it's just it's one of those. If it works, it works really well, and there's no issues. Normally, you let the game flow like they're trying to do, and then most of the time, it doesn't cause this big of a problem. It's just this season it has, especially for us. I think we're not the only team to have this issue with the like I said, for me, it's a difficult one because, we look at these 2 incidents and they've gone against us. We've lost 2 players. But how do you... Because at the end of the day, I mean, the referees and the linesmen are just trying to kind of make the game flow, make the game better for us fans and the players. So are we being too harsh and too critical? Because it's gone against us because the 2 players done, or is it because this is going to cause someone even a further more outstanding injury?
I mean, it's the big problem with having VAR is that if they start flagging early and they get it wrong, we'll have the situation like we did with Grealish against Spurs, where a referee calls something back or a linesman does that shouldn't, and that goes back to the problem that always used to be in the game, which was incorrect flags, because once the flag's up, the play's stopped. But there has to be a thing where it's so obvious, because to me it looked like 3 Newcastle players were offside, and I would say by at least a metre in every case. It wasn't 1 player marginally offside, it was 3 players miles offside. Now, technically, if all of those 3 then don't go and play the ball, you don't flag. But the second that Isaac touched it, I think he was offside, but maybe he was only marginally offside. That's the problem, because all 3 players were offside, and it was hard to, But I don't know. I think it's a bit of a damned if they do, damned if they don't on this. But when it's so obvious, you think
that's what got me.
Prevail.
It was obvious.
And there was one late,
a squeaky one. It was.
There was one in the second half where they put the flag up in that circumstance where it was really obvious, and the linesman put the flag up.
Well, we'll get into it soon.
They're obviously allowed to.
Well, we'll get into it. I mean, obviously, like I said, come off. Ortega comes on, and then we decided we wanted to play, and we started playing some beautiful stuff for 20 minutes. Thought we were great. Took the lead. Dubravka good saves. And by the way, I thought Dubravka was sensational for them today. And we deservedly took the lead. Walker, give him credit on that one. He great ball in. And Bernardo Silva. I mean,
Wow.
hello. If I did that, I'd be in hospital, but I ain't no mad.
Comparing yourself to
With
Foden.
your left foot, Martin, you wouldn't have had to use your right foot behind.
Standing on the head.
You wouldn't have had to. You'd have just used the outside of your left foot.
You'd be lying in hospital saying, you'd be lying in hospital telling nurses, I'm expecting a visit from Phil Foden soon.
Yeah. That goal, though, it's not only a candidate for goal of the month, but it's, candidate for goal of the year.
Yeah. I mean, the keeper's no chance with that. You put it the complete opposite side of him.
Yeah.
Dubravka just went, all right, that's him. I mean, was there a case, I'm asking, that it was a foul? And because the Newcastle players and management obviously all went to the referee afterwards, going mad because they thought it should have been a foul. It should have been called back.
No, it wasn't a foul.
No, Diaz is shepherding him, and if you look at the replays the whole time, Diaz is always ahead of Gordon. He's even
did it look worse?
He's ahead of him even before he puts his hands on him.
Did it look worse because he ended up off the pitch?
Yeah, because his head almost went through him. His head almost went through.
That's what made it look worse. Yeah, that's what made it look worse than it was. And I think even any Newcastle, fan looking at that properly would go, yeah, you can't really give that.
Oh no, they're all going mad about it, Oz.
It was about a minute earlier.
None of them agree with me on that.
It was like 5 seconds before. It was going back a bit, Yeah.
What was it? I can't remember how long there was between that foul and the goal, but it was a while before that goal was scored.
To me, it was like was it against Palace where Bernardo got maybe marginally fouled, but actually I don't think it was a foul, and then it went through for the penalty. Like, to me, going back a minute and then whining about something, it's happened to us, but I think once you played on, it's separate issue to the goal, and and it was so marginal. I was outraged when Haaland's goal was disallowed at Liverpool last year because they decided to go back 49 seconds and give a 50-50 against. It's done. It's history. It's a different bit of play. Yeah,
of course. Listen, I thought it was a perfectly good goal. Thought we were quite on song for it. I thought we were very, very good. So we said player highlights, so it's essential to keep the ball. If we don't, then we picked off like that. Doku, Foden, Alvarez have to protect the ball. Bob did it better with all three of them. Better did it all three of them. And then obviously we got the goal, which we have done a little bit this season. And then we got sort of caught all over the place. Now, this is where my issue comes in. Now, people go, listen, we're talking about the game. During the goals, there was faults. So we have to talk about them because we're doing a post-match. We'll get to all the good stuff in the second half because it was all us. We'll get there. I just think Doku should be a straight winger for me if you're going to do it. Putting him into any kind of a midfield, you just look at the jump. I'm like, this is my issue. I think Doku going forward is amazing. Defensively, he's all at sea. All at sea, all over the shop.
And why when you're up against the slowest fullbacks in the Premier League, which they probably are combined,
exactly.
I was saying, Trippier and Bruyne have got to be,
and you dump him in mid.
It
baffles.
And I think, and I do think that, particularly the first goal, everyone's blaming Walker. It wasn't. We lost the ball up front. Walker was left with two players, and I don't care what anyone says. If Walker had not let Isaac go inside, Isaac would have just tapped it to Gordon, and Gordon would have finished or tapped it back to Isaac for a 6-yard open goal.
By Isaac. I will give him that.
It was a brilliant,
beautiful finish.
You will not see a game where 5 goals are scored and all of them were world-class finishes. Every single goal. was a world-class finish today.
Do you know what pissed me off more about it for their 2 goals? Yes, they were quality, but it was like watching rinse and repeat within a minute.
Yeah, Walker was having to.
Reminded me of the
centre-back.
4-4 at
I
Chelsea.
thought it was a replay of the first one. I'm like, we've done it again. We've just done rinse and repeat. We've done it.
But most of the goals that we concede are because of our own faults. Do you know what I mean? It always comes down to that one missed pass. Do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, we're caught off the guard. And I do think people are being slightly a bit harsh on Doku because, yes, he was at fault, but in all fairness to him, he's coming back off an injury. You know, you've got to let him have time to, get back into the flow.
Did you say that last week when he scored against Huddersfield, though, Jose? This is the part. Not a year. This is where the favouritism comes in. If we're going to criticise one, we have to criticise all.
No, well, I will lay the criticism when it's deserved, and I still would have said you've still got to bring him back in. You know, he's got to have time to get back into the flow. And yes, it was a great goal from him. But for me, you've still got to give him time.
Yeah, but why do we? But is it not fair to attribute that blame? Because to me, we were left with 1 against 2 on their left, and not just any 2, but Gordon's been one of the form players on the left in Europe. He's been the bright spot for Newcastle. He's very quick and he's in form. And Isaac is he's a very fast, very cool player, and we've left Walker twice, basically at centre back, but with no right back outside him because no one's covering back. And then the fans have just gone and hammered Walker when ultimately the problem was a team setup that Walker should have been with Gordon on both of them, and there should have been a centre back in the middle or a defender or Roger or whoever it was looking after the middle. And then we're just saying, well, it's all Walker's fault. Well, I'm sorry, when you're playing as a right winger like Walker was, to suddenly be expected at 34 with your head in a mess to be able to run back and cover Isaac and Gordon and not let them have the inside or the outside either time. It's just fantasy. And I think
Kovacic's got away with a little bit.
We need to blame the whole.
Just why I put
the whole team. Yeah,
why I put all 3 of them down on it today on the goals.
They were the fault of the team, and Walker's carrying the can for everyone. And Walker should not be carrying the can for being left to mark Isaac and Gordon on his own. Because I tell you what, the same armchair people, if Isaac hadn't scored that goal, he'd have just flicked it to Gordon and Gordon had tapped it in at the near post or tapped it back to Isaac for a 3-yard tap in. The same people would be saying, "Oh, you should have shown in the inside. You should have shown in the inside." You can't cover both, and that is so. Therefore, it's a team fault. Someone else should have been back. Whether that's or we shouldn't have lost the ball up front.
So is that on Pep then, Rich?
Well, it's. I don't. To be honest, I don't see the game in the same level as Pep. So I'm not sure if that's the setup. The setup's part of it, or whether there's an individual error. There's an individual error potentially from Doku or whoever loses the ball up front. There's potentially an individual error by the person up front not closing. Then who's in midfield? Was it Kovacic? Who should have been back there filling in? Should it have been someone at left back allowing, the Guardiola to slide into the middle? I think it's pretty complicated, but it's a setup thing. So I guess Pep's part of it.
So do you think, given the circumstances with Kyle Walker, and obviously we hear that Pep was begging him to play, would it be safe to say that had Akanji not been injured, he probably would have played instead of Kyle Walker? That way,
I've got a feeling.
Yeah, and I think if Akanji played, and I think and Martin, I think if Akanji played, we wouldn't have played with such a high line either.
Yeah, I don't know. Has anyone seen the Walker Pep video at the end? They have a moment, and you can see Walker's just. You can just, when you see a guy who does not want to be there, it's like, just take me off. You can just see it in these guys. Like,
Pep was more emotional than I've seen him since Istanbul in the game. Not just with Walker. You saw him. He had about 30 seconds with De Bruyne, where they were hugging. He went absolutely nuts to Oscar Bobb, because apparently he did say to Oscar Bobb, "Go on and score, Oscar."
We're getting 12
and he had huge. So so I think Pep realised how important that game was, and I think Pep appreciated the stories in the game. De Bruyne coming back, Walker playing when perhaps he shouldn't. A tough game, tough away game, and when all is said and done, we haven't had more possession in an away game since West Ham at the start of last season. We had 73% possession. That's only 1% less than we had against Sheffield United 2 weeks ago in a game that everyone thought we should have won by 10.
No,
we had 27 shots. We should have won that game on the balance of play and the balance of chances. 5 or 6-0 would not have flattered City.
Listen, I totally agree, and I agree. I think some of the criticism on Walker has gone. It's why I put it to the 3. I wasn't where I said Doku, Kovacic, and Walker, because I think it was a combination. Because it's one of them. It stops at A, it doesn't get to B. It stops at B, you go to C, and it was collapsing at A, B, and C, and then they went with it, and you're like
all 3 were in the wrong place.
Yeah.
All 3 were
and
A,
B, and C collapsed, and then we went. So that was my thing with it. I thought, and listen, I think Kovacic has been really good for 2 games, but it was a weird one. I mean, you're going to need Kovacic soon, because Rodri's going to get a 2-game ban very, very soon. Because, like I said 2 weeks ago,
how many cards has he up to now?
If he gets 2 more yellow cards, he's 2 yellow cards away for a 2-game ban.
So
he's going to get a 2-game ban.
For a 2-game ban.
I reckon.
Oh God.
Yeah, because it's the potting up process.
Does the FA Cup count? Does the FA Cup count in it? I think we need Rodri to take a tactical yellow, don't we? I think we need Rodri to take. I don't know. I think get his ban before March or April.
Oh yeah, God, yeah, get his.
Yeah, he needs to take a tactical.
Don't get your ban going into March.
Yeah. Like Liverpool used to do with Steven Gerrard,
I hope Pep will do that, and we'll be clever and go get your ban before Anfield. Because if you get banned for Anfield, we're in it. Just take one for the team at some point, and just take your ban and go and have a rest for 2 days or something. 2 games.
We'll do it when we're every 3 days, because if we have him one weekend, he'll be back by middle of next week.
Copenhagen, you could do it. Oh no, what is it called?
It's a different game, It's got what we want: beat Spurs, get an easy cup draw, and then do it for
Spurs
one Premier League. Yeah,
if we beat Spurs, the next round is midweek, right at the end of February. So we'll be in the thick of every 3 days by then.
Well, then we've got Brentford and Everton.
Yeah, that's my point, Blue Art.
So Brentford in the next round of the FA Cup. Tactical yellow.
I know Super City.
If he can last that long.
Like Super City, they flagged and it was seen. My point is, when it's so obvious, that's when the flag. You don't need VAR to that point. When it's that obvious, it's stupid. Anyway, we're going 2-1 down. Was anyone screaming for KDB at half time? And be totally honest.
No.
No, because
probably wants to, but he's not. He's not ready for it.
Yeah, he admitted himself. He admitted himself afterwards in the press interview, saying that he can only do maximum of 25 minutes. So,
I think we're just playing as a super sub to the end of the season.
This is what I mean. I know what you're saying, but he played 40 minutes against Huddersfield.
It's Huddersfield.
One other thing,
though. No offense, but it's Huddersfield.
The comments just put up, but thank goodness I know he's not quite the same, but thank goodness we've got a decent goalkeeper in backup who can deal with the ball at their feet. I know he's not Edison, but I'm glad we don't have Stefan. What's his name? Zach Stefan coming in goal. we might not have come through that.
giving me flashbacks to Wembley. Thanks, Rich. 10 yards away from Zach Steffen, just giving the ball to Mane. That's just gone right in my head. Thanks, Rich. 5-hour drive home.
Can I just say before we get on to Kevin, because yes, we're going to wax lyricals about Kevin in a minute, but I've got to say, Phil Foden tonight, again, some of his runs were absolutely fantastic. Do you know what I mean? He has really stepped up since Kevin's been out the team. And I think, if Kevin hadn't been there tonight, I just feel that something would have come from him. That's why I wasn't screaming for Kev to come on after half time. Because he was on fire. He was making things happen. And as Rich alluded to earlier, the amount of shots that we were having on goal, Dubravka was fantastic for Newcastle tonight. He kept them in the game because it should have been 5-6.
Yeah, and we had some good chances that were just meh shots. Like I think Guardiola had one. I think
Bernardo had one.
Alvarez had a couple where they were like they were good chances and they were 20 yards over the bar. I mean, yeah.
Alvarez should have put one in the back of the
for a few minutes.
Yeah, I think Newcastle will be happy that Dubravka's in a bit of form, knowing that they're probably not going to see Pope until the end of the season.
I don't mean to.
So I think if they have any aspirations of getting European spots, then it's really critical that Dubravka's in form for them. So good for them. Yeah.
If you want to know anyone wants to become a member, it is down. It says underneath there's a join button. You just put that, and it's 99p, and you get entered into the monthly prize draws. So if anyone does that, thank you so much. You are amazing. Mark Goldfish crying, always does Alec. But we'll get on to the KDB. I mean, and a lot of people talked about Alvarez in there. Listen, that is a guy who needs a rest.
To be
Don't
fair,
care what anyone says. He's playing Casper the Friendly Ghost now, and it's like that shot in the second half. You could see he was just snatching all over it, and was just. As much as Doku had a dodgy game defensively, Doku could have still had 2 assists today, and Alvarez had his shooting boots on. So you're like, yeah.
Yeah, but to be fair, Martin, that free kick he took from that far out, I mean, if Dubravka hadn't been, on his toes, that would have gone in.
Yeah. Did he do out else, though, was he, in the game, really, for you?
Yeah, I'm not... What I'm saying to you is that I think even though wasn't at his 100% best, and he probably does need a rest, he still can put that ball in the back of the net. It just wasn't his night tonight. And
I just think he's knackered.
Yeah, he is. But that's why now we're having KDB back. Hopefully he will get a rest, and he will get a rest anyway because there's not a game until Spurs. So.
Yeah. Well, if we get Haaland back, I don't know when's Haaland's back anymore. Can get kicked down the road that now.
Oh, it's all right, mate. We've got there's more than enough room for just one Norwegian player these days.
Back to false 9. Let's go again.
Yep.
Because I didn't even travel today. He was sat at home having a nice little jolly up on his little owner.
Yeah.
Sending videos and Instagram posts to Kevin. They are. You're out there, mate.
But it's great that he's still doing that. That's how much he loves this team, being in this team. He could have just been silent and I don't know, done anything. But he watched the game and he was praising his teammates. And you can tell he wants to be back on that pitch. I mean, when he was on in the stands, and Doku scored that goal, he was going absolutely ballistic. He was so proud of his teammates. So for me, I mean, he could just be relaxing and doing anything else, but he actually cares. And I think that's just great. Great teamwork. That I can't get my words out tonight.
I'm just going to go through these because there's loads of members and super chats coming. Thank you so much. I am way behind on the comments. If you see why the comments are flying, because I am behind. because there's 175 of you in it. If you can smash that thumbs up, that'd be amazing. We are now 75 away from 3,000. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Simo Subs, thank you for becoming a member for 1 month. You are a legend. Thank you so much. Lynette has renewed her membership his membership. I don't know. For 8 months. Thank you so much. That has probably been from day one. So thank you so much. Super Setter, Martin loves my in-game WhatsApp messages. Between you and Alan, it was like I was going to death row today, reading your 2 messages. I was like, phone ping, 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 ping. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But thank you for the super chat, mate.
What would be your last meal, by the way, Martin? I'm sure it'd involve
Sunday dinner.
It'd be a Costa coffee.
Of course.
Roast chicken, Sunday dinner.
And a Costa coffee.
Nope. Alan, thank you for
Oh,
the tip. I thought you were at the Aussie Open. Walker and Domu.
He probably is. He's probably there criticising, Novak Djokovic.
Yeah.
Your
forehand is shit.
Yeah, you're rubbish, Djokovic.
Tim Henman was better.
You don't play like that, Djokovic.
Anyway, Walker and Doc, you are full KDB legend. Thank you for your.
Can I ask you a quick question for all the talk on the setup?
Can I just do the quick one because Mark Fogg's come in with a legendary status. 5 gifted memberships again, Mark Fogg. Every single stream, you are a legend, sir. Give yourself a bow. Thank you so much. I am going to whiz through as many comments as I can get now. I do apologise. Sylvia's put Walker, he's done. I don't rate him. He gets a spot on the national team. I don't. Anyway, go on, you 3. I'm just going to whiz through some comments.
Can I ask you a question? All 3 of you on this, and I've been thinking this about with Walker being asked to play so far up and such a wide role. Would you? I think I would prefer to see, and I know this isn't the way Pep's going, Gvardiol at centre back with Diaz and Ake fullback. If Walker's being asked to do that, because I think Ake's defensive instinct is really it's prime in his game, even though he's a good passer. And Gvardiol's a bit more instinctively attacking. So if you have Ake and Walker, I just feel a little bit more comfortable that the cover's going to come back and you're not going to leave yourself exposed with both fullbacks up at the same time. Because I think Walker's getting a lot of stick for something that's a team issue, not a Walker issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ake,
totally agree with it.
the first thing we always say is Ake, unlike Cancelo, Ake never steps on the toes of his fellow attacker, whoever's playing ahead of him on the left side. He knows his place, he knows his position, regardless whether he's a left centre back or a left back. So yeah, for me, I'm all for that. I think he does a great job as a sort of, provisional sort of left back, sort of left-sided defense. So anytime I see him there, you just know you're always going to get a 7.5 out of 7.5 out of 10 from him.
I liked.
And Gvardiol showed against Huddersfield.
Yeah.
And we can't. I'm not just going to say, it was Huddersfield, but he looks so solid as centre back. And you could see why he was regarded as one of the best young defenders when he was at Leipzig.
Well, I've got a better question for you all. Throw this one at you. Why did Walker get dropped last season? What was he doing?
When it first came up, it was because Stones was playing right back and going into midfield.
You probably know where I'm going here, ladies and gentlemen.
It was the inverted.
The fact is, are we not just doing rinse and repeat with Walker and then going, hang on a minute, he struggled at this last season, but we're going to make him do it again this season. But he struggled at it last season because I seem to remember Newcastle last season bombing up the wing with ASM, and it was rinse and repeat. So, right,
except Walker was asked to go inside last season.
I know.
Yeah, he wasn't today.
The point is, Rich, Pep has to lay some blame in on this Walker situation for me.
Yeah.
Because when Walker was asked to do a straight back, just defend, do nothing but defend, mate, we were waxing lyrical about the guy.
Yeah, because he's a world-class defender. But
that's my point.
He can't be a world-class defender. Yeah, he can't be a world-class defender and winger at the same time. No one can. The other thing that
we're having a go at I'm not saying have a go at Pep because Pep's the goal. Yeah, I'm just saying Pep's not immune to criticism at the same time.
Fans' opinion on Kyle Walker is generational. because everyone our age is saying he's a great player, a great right back because he follows the traditional, what a traditional right back should do, and the pace alone is a defensive weapon in itself. Let alone the fact that he's a decent ball player and things like that. Yeah. But then obviously anybody younger than us would go and say, well, Trent is better because he follows the rules of a modern day right back that bomb effectively works as a fullback.
But can't.
So it's So that's just it's a gap thing. A generational gap
thing. The one player who can do both, but he's always injured, is Reece James, because he can be a better attacker than Walker, and he's a miles better defender than Arnold. But he's always injured. So that doesn't matter. He's always injured. Yeah.
Should we get on to the Terminator?
It's like the other thing you get from bloody from Walker is the amount of fans saying,
Bloody Walker.
Yeah, no, I mean the bloody fans. No.
Rich Ram.
I think it's really unfair. You get all the fans saying, "Oh, Walker shouldn't be captain." Well, his teammates voted for him.
Yeah,
they voted for him.
I don't get.
They work with him day in, day out, and they know better than you. They know better than you. They work with him day in, day out, and there is no alternative at the moment because KDB's been out all season. Diaz has lost form. Rodri has so much responsibility in our team. There is no way Rodri should be doing anything else, wasting any energy on the captaincy. And, so what's the alternative? Bernardo, who's probably going to go in the summer. I mean, I just think we didn't have much choice on, really, even if he'd been fourth choice with the players, he'd probably still be captaining us nearly every game. So why the fans think they know better than our players, again, is beyond me.
Again, though, where did the first goal come from?
The team leaving us undermanned on the right-hand side of defence.
No, I mean our goal. I'm talking about our first goal.
Well, brilliant. Good Walker getting space, good cross, and world-class Bernardo.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Ozzy, but his first job is to defend.
I know, but at the end of the day, you've just made the argument. If Pep gives him a job to do, he's going to go and do it.
No, but that's why I'm criticising Pep for it. Pep's fault.
I know, but that's my point. He is only doing what he was told to do.
Yeah.
And out of that chance, he made a goal. Do you know what I mean? So it did work, but sadly, because he was doing what he was told, we conceded 2 goals.
No, I agree. My point is, Ozzy, is that we had this problem slightly last season. So it's like we've gone back. So even Walker said, I can't do this.
I think the other problem as well, though, is Rich alluded to it. We haven't had a straight back four all season. It's been mix and match because of the injuries we've had. Do you know what I mean? Stones has been injured. Diaz has been out of form most of the season. Aki's been our best defender all season. And Guardiola is only just coming to the team, but he's absolutely fantastic, but he's still got to learn a lot at the moment. So if you really think about it, that's why we concede a lot more goals this season, because we just haven't had that regular back four.
Thank you, Alec Johnson. Yeah. Big up to Sven. Let's get on to the Terminator then. He appeared. Changed the game. Clearly. But like I said, he's been, I got told, he'd been running for 2 months. Fine. It was now match fitness. The guy looks, you mentioned it on Thursday, Rich, he looks slimmer. He looks 2 years younger. Looks 2 stone lighter. Wish I want to know.
He's gliding when he runs.
I want to know what his diet is because I need to get on it.
Yeah. I think it's a diet and about 6 hours a day training, Martin.
Because he's doing something that I can't do.
He doesn't. He never goes to Costa.
He's got
his he drinks black coffee.
Well, until Costa changes it from a drive-through to a walk-through, then
a run-through.
Walking as well.
You've got to be on a treadmill.
It's a bit harder with my walking stick, but I can do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, you've only got one.
Yeah, I've only got one. I got 2. Not as bad as you.
Right. Fair enough.
I think we should look around and get him a scooter.
No, I'm getting that when we go to White Hart Lane. Kevin was on fire. His impact was huge. Disagree, Ozzy Foden made the wrong choice most of the game. I don't disagree with Ozzy, and I thought Foden played well, My issue with Foden today was I wish he'd bloody shoot. Because he got you some amazing positions.
Yeah, I think on at least 3 or 4 occasions I was yelling to myself, "Put your laces through it."
And do you know what's weird? Yeah. That's what got the goal against Huddersfield last week by just hitting the damn thing from the edge of the box. And today,
how much did it remind you of David Silva when he? How much did it remind you of David Silva when he had space on the 18-yard box? Just shoot, but no, he wanted to throw in 3 other attackers to pinball it to.
The difference with David Silva is that Phil Foden is a brilliant finisher. You know, Silva wasn't. You know,
Silva had it in
great goals.
He just didn't.
He had it, but
he didn't use it. He just didn't use it as much as we
regularly. Foden can hit. You know, a couple of his goals recently, he's hit it outside the box, accurate to within a couple of inches. Goal, nothing anyone can do, and Foden's got that. So I do think he could be a bit more. You know, and
Rich David had it in his game. He just didn't know. He just didn't utilize it.
Yeah,
nowhere near as much as he should have. As I think he should have.
Spain than he ever did for City.
Oh God, yeah.
You might not get that, Adam. FIFA, you're taking the piss. Really taking the piss now.
Beat me to it, FIFA. Yeah.
I think if be fair, if Chris would have played,
we'd
have got 7 or 8.
He's at Forest now. Yeah.
He would have caused
so many headaches today.
Yeah, he would have. No, but if he'd have played for us like he should be, we'd have got 7 or 8. There's no way with 27 attempts Chris would play and you don't get close to double figures.
You absolute waffle merchants. Be quiet. Team fan here, you deserve to win, no question. Despite the last 2 minutes, no win. I hate Klopp and that. Now win it. Hey, thank you very much, wonderful horseshoe, and I hope you do have a good remainder of your season. I will say one thing is. Was it me or did anyone think when Kevin came on? If you look at them last 25 minutes, I thought the equaliser was just coming. It then became attack defense. It became attack defense, and Newcastle just start. You know when you're watching someone just go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper because they were kicking the ball straight back.
Yeah,
and we were just going again. They were not getting any rest, and then you look.
I think.
And
there was no way out for them.
Out, we're getting less air because they were just knackered of the ball being recycled back to them all the time.
Yeah. I think they're lucky. 2 world-class finishes and the fact that we didn't get the winner till the last minute is making it look like a close game. And I think it's probably going to let Eddie Howe off with the stick. Fact is, for at least an hour of that game, it was like watching City at home.
Before you go down this road.
Yeah, no. But I'm just saying, for large parts of the game, it was like watching us at home against, you know,
an away team.
At least 10 teams a year. Let us have 70%, 75% possession, and then it's a question of do we finish or not. If we finish, we get 5 or 6. If we don't, some of the games are a bit closer. But ultimately. You can't let at home. They need to look at themselves because you cannot let a team come away to you as a team that got to the Champions League this year and has aspirations for challenging for the title in the next year or two. In that position, you cannot have away teams coming and getting 27 shots and 73% possession. We have not had more than 73% possession away since West Ham away at the start of last season. You know, which. 18 months ago, and we've played some not great teams in that time. So yes, I think 2 truly world-class finishes from them are glossing over a game which I think was a lot less good for them than the pundits and everyone's talking about. It shouldn't have been close.
Stephen, stop. I'm going to start banning the word Chris Wood from the streams. Mods, Chris Wood gets mentioned, time out. Simple as. We're not messing around now.
Yeah.
Shot of milk.
Can we have a nickname for just use other kind of trees? So ash, sycamore, chestnut, all code for Chris Wood.
No, I just think.
Do they have eucalyptus in New Zealand?
And I said this
sure they do.
Back. No signing can be made in January other than Mbappe by anyone. And it's anywhere near the like of Kevin De Bruyne coming back into your team. a fit one. They managed his minutes. They're managing his minutes. They manage his track on. Like I said, been running for about 2 months now with the ball. Fit as a fiddle. Now it's match fitness. Match sharpness. The guy looks damn sharp already, by the way. This is the scary shit. He's sharp now. You look at them balls, he was knocking balls in, and I sat there going, where's Haaland? This is Haaland sat there going, I want to be on the end of these, thanks.
Yeah. It's not only that though, mine. I also, because you watch his match interview afterwards, it's not only is the club, the training staff, and Pep managing him, he's also managed himself. Do you know what I mean? I think he's realizing what his capabilities are and what he can fully do now. That he can't, he's got to watch what he does, because I think previously he would have just ran until he dropped. Now it's like, no, I've actually got to manage what I can do, and that is a scary thing. That he's now realised that he can. It's more scary for the rest of the league.
Yeah, big style. I mean, it looked, you could just tell with the wave, and every wave was Kevin De Bruyne. It was Foden to Kevin to Rodri. By the way, Rodri, very good today. Someone we've not talked about. Exceptional again. Got man of the match, but I thought he
could have scored the winner a few minutes before Bob did.
I've never seen him hit a ball that quick, by the way. He played a little 1-2 with himself and just hit the thing straight away.
Yeah.
Don't normally see him do that. Normally turns like a bus, like Alan says, and can't get his feet out,
Yeah. Reminded me of Chris Wood. Sorry, Dave.
Anyway, Pat's got the Foden fringe. Pat's got the timeout. Now, Scotty, when the big games come, what's your return? Right, go on then. So who wants to go waxing on Kevin first? Because obviously the equaliser, he just passes the damn thing in.
Yeah.
There's only him who does that.
Nutmegs as well. Yeah. Nutmegs as well.
Yeah.
Nutmeg.
The Bruyne goal reminds you of the first goal against Arsenal last season.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing was him coming on.
Sorry, Pat, man. I've got to laugh at that. Ow. Oh, your sister owes you. Sold my ticket for my sister's birthday meal last time. She's getting a gift card. Big up to all the City fans up there, by the way. Legends, every single one.
Right. When Alan's on
the
Mancunian way.
You know what, though? De Bruyne coming on, you could see that it lifted some of the players, but I won't say he turned the game because we were already dominant when he came on. But what he turned was the execution. Is that we'd been creating chances and doing well, but he just brought that extra 1% of icing on top that turned what was already a team dominating into scoring first and then creating a goal. The goal he scored, and I see the Newcastle fans slagging them off for giving him space, but had the two defenders pushed up to give him space, he would have just slid a ball through to Alvarez, Docky, Foden, or anyone else who was there ready to make the run. So, it's a bit hard to blame Newcastle for that. And then he gets the ball, and it was a world-class finish, completely played for, almost passed into the net, through the legs, brilliant. And then the ball for Bob's goal. I almost would give Bob more credit than De Bruyne because Bob, that was exceptional. The run, the control, and then to pass it from his left foot to the right like that was world class. And you can see now, I saw an interview with Foden a couple of weeks ago saying that he thinks Bob is 2 years ahead of him when he was that age in terms of
I'll read you the message
and everything else.
Can't tell you,
Rich.
Where from.
Rich, I think also too, they're talking about being critical of giving Kevin space. I think a lot of it has to do with that the match last season where he slid that ball through three defenders onto Bernardo Silva to score the equaliser. I'm sorry, but that's going to play psychologically. That is going to play on any defender when you've already had that same midfielder doing that to you and capable of doing it to you after he's been off for 5 months.
Yeah.
The psychological side of things.
The message I got earlier was Oscar Bobb new deal coming soon.
Yeah.
He looks.
We'll see that before Spurs.
Didn't I read he's only on
$8 grand a week? Yeah.
No wonder he's getting a bleeding new deal. I don't want a new deal. He said Pep likes the idea of a fresh.
I'll be very surprised if you don't see that before Spurs.
And then text me, sorry, I forgot you were doing a show tonight.
Yeah. I don't reckon. Yeah. I love the fact that Martin, would walk away from his job if he wasn't getting more than $8 grand a week.
Oh, and Eddie's having a little chat with someone. Or is it just a chat? I don't know. Then they gave me eyes. I don't know what that means. By the way, I do not want Bruno Guimaraes anywhere near this football club, you dirty little shit. But, as someone told me earlier on, is he the kind of player that you hate when he's playing against you, but you'd love him for you?
That's what the rest of the league thinks about Bernardo Silva. Hate him, but if he was there tomorrow holding his shirt up, you'd be absolutely chuffed.
Yeah. Everyone hated Fernandinho. Everyone hated Fernandinho.
Oh, Dickoff.
I loved him.
Do you not remember Dickoff? Played for us, legend. Came back for Leicester at the Etihad, slid on his damn knees, and we all called him a wanker. And he's like got shirts everywhere. We're all calling him a wanker. And then in the summer afterwards, he comes back, and we're all like, "Love you, mate." Like, call me a wanker last time I was here. So, hey, football fans for you. It's one of them. Do you want them pissing in? You want them pissing in the house out or out into your house? It's which one do you ever want? I think that's what Bruno is. Yeah. Good point. Walcott dropped because Pep wanted control. I do think he's trying to get this hybrid between control and basket. I think he's trying to get a happy medium between the two at the moment.
So that would be more like football where you can just change the tempo immediately.
Does anyone, before we go on to the does anyone think we play better football when we're moving the ball quicker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we seem to find more space as well.
Well, we play the ball. We play the ball quicker when we know we're not playing teams that aren't going to low block. Simple.
And we make. The only thing is when we get a bit more direct, a bit quicker, we make more mistakes.
And that not talking about Cole Palmer. I'm sick to death of reading about Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer needs to shut his mouth and get on with his Chelsea career now. Every 5 minutes, I'm reading quotes from him. It must be the same interview and they're just breaking the quote down every day. It's like a new quote's coming out. But shut up. Really getting on with Willy. Matt Fogg again with another 5. You really are a legend, sir. Thank you so much. Honestly. Oscar Bobb. The text I got off Alan earlier was, well, at least Bob can do what Doku can't.
He's never happy with that, man.
I feel sorry for whoever's sitting next to him at the Australian Open today.
I'll tell you what, though, it was a very composed finish for him. Very cool and calm.
He's just so quick with his feet.
Yeah. And by the way, what a ball from Kevin. Just throwing it out there.
I think there's probably less than 10 Premier League footballers who could have feet that quick to pass it from left to right foot like that, and probably half of them play for City. I think that goal isn't getting enough credit. To bring it down, to pick that run, to bring it down, and then to pass it from your left to your right at that pace, at that moment in that game, that was unbelievable composure. Unbelievable composure.
Does anyone miss Palmer now you've got Bob? Throwing it out there.
Not anymore. No, because we never got to see the Chelsea Palmer when he was at City. So I'm not missing it when you haven't seen it.
Does anyone think Pep trusts Bob?
Why would you see the Chelsea Palmer when we've got Haaland to take penalties?
No, what I mean is because he does seem to be trusting Bob more than he trusted Palmer. Palmer wasn't getting this amount of games at the beginning.
Do you know what I think it is? I think it's attitude. I think when you see Bob and the way he behaves around the pitch, just even his interview after the game humble. And everything, Bob is obviously a personality that Pep loves. And just see the way Pep was with him after the final whistle. Pep obviously loves Bob, the person, and he just comes across so like, so Scandinavian, really humble.
Apologise for any Scandinavian lovers out there.
Well, no, that's a compliment.
Well, I don't know where you're going with it, Rich. I'm just getting the apology in earlier.
Yeah, no. You don't need to apologise. I'm saying that he comes across, very Scandinavian, humble, intelligent, thoughtful, a great person to have around the team.
Yeah, Rich, I like to hope that the City Academy had a lot to do with that as well. Yeah, but I'm sure he's grown up. He's grown up and been raised under a good family. But
Sean Wright Phillips was talking about it. Yeah, Sean Wright Phillips was talking about it after the game, and he spends a lot of time around the club. And he was actually saying that Oscar Bobb is like, and he used his words carefully, but you could see Oscar Bobb's like halfway between Palmer and Foden. And what he was basically saying is that Oscar Bobb's got a bit more swagger and a bit more of that kind of like,
bravado,
slow it down, a bit less intense than Foden. But what he was clearly alluding to is that Palmer's swagger goes to, a bit of petulance, a bit of arrogance, maybe a bit of laziness, and Bob doesn't have that. And so he's like, well, he's got a bit of that Palmer, but he's also got that Foden, that intensity, that love of football, and I think we'll see. A
lot of people say Bob's got more potential.
Well, City clearly thought so. By the fact that McAtee was let go, Palmer was let go.
Yeah, are we giving up on McAtee now? I think
you
don't need to start giving up on McAtee at this point.
But what I'm saying is that when it came down to it this summer, it was Bob who was kept, and it's Bob who's been given game time.
Yep.
And that says what the City coaches must think.
It's amazing because I think if you go back to the start of last season, if we thought there was a race between who would be more settled into the senior team first, between McAtee and Bob, I think most of us would have probably said McAtee probably just ahead. Because from what we'd seen, it looked like he had more potential and a higher ceiling. But I think that's changed quite quickly. Now, don't get me wrong, McAtee's doing a good job at Sheffield United. But what you do at Sheffield won't reflect what you do at City. And I really do hope we give him a chance. But at the moment, just what Oscar Bobb is doing, just with he's been so patient, waiting for his moments, and he's taken them so well.
There's a lot in the chat going about KDB and David Silva. Hold your horses on that. On Thursday night, we're doing an all-time Pep 11. Because it's midweek, we're going to do a mid-season review, even though it's a bit past mid-season now. But we're all going to do the Pep 11. And that debate will probably end up coming into it because I'm going to end up putting somebody else in. Because for me, still, and we'll debate it more Thursday, I've got David Silva as the greatest City player I've seen live.
I agree with you.
But we'll see. But that doesn't mean I'm saying KDB is not world class. I just have David Silva way up there.
And then if we want to be particular about it too, with Pep 11, David Silva, you got to say, is it bold David Silva or is it with hair David Silva? Because there is a bit of a difference.
No, but I mean, do you know what got me, Ozzy? And Rich put it earlier in the group chat perfectly. Them scenes at the end reminded everyone of Istanbul. They were so emotional. And like I said, it reminded me of the Arsenal game 2 years ago where we were shittish first half. And then second half dominate, and then we get a winner in the 91st minute, piss everyone off. And go
I thought we were shit until Mahrez put the penalty away.
It just reminded me of, this is Arsenal 2 years ago, but we're doing it again. And you've been to Everton and you've been to Newcastle. People forget that's 8 out of 9 now.
Yep. And we look so calm. We look so calm now all the time. So that's what you think. Just when you think you're going to start panicking, you go, look at the squad. Are they panicking? No. Then why should I?
So important question for you, Martin, for everyone. This thing next week when we're doing the Pep 11, I assume it means how they played under Pep. So, for example, if I was doing an 11 for the Abu Dhabi era, I'd have Yaya in, but I wouldn't have him in under Pep because his peak was
it's a Pep 11, Rich.
So it's a Pep 11. So 11. Fernandinho and Yaya, I'm not disagreeing.
Otherwise, we'll be putting
if I don't pick them.
Messi will maybe nip in, and
Pep City 11, yeah.
Because it'll be intriguing because you're going to get the Haaland debate. Is it too soon? Do you put Aguero in, or you're going to get all this?
You can't put Yaya in because Yaya Pellegrini was Yaya under Pep wasn't even in the shadow of Yaya.
Have we fast forward to 30 already?
Aguero.
Whose idea was it? Because it is a bloody good discussion. It's always going to,
Needs to have gone into the debate. All I'm going to say is on it. You'll want to be here because Alan will be here, and we will have a little salute to the general.
Yeah,
that will piss Alan right off when we put him into my 11.
I think he should be in everyone's 11.
Yeah. Right. Anyway,
chat. We've got to. If Alan's in for that, we've got to bombard him with Otamendi.
Man of the match.
Company's getting dropped.
I mean, the headlines will be about KDB for obvious reasons. And when he came on, he was, as we've all been waxing lyricals about him, he was magnificent. But I just think you can't look past Rodri. He was just, some of the balls he played, some of his hold-up balls, he made that game tick. And as we've said before, when he is not on the field, we notice it big time. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, honourable mention for me. I felt Foden was brilliant as well today. Just lacked that kind of edge to him to get a goal, but he's an honourable mention for me. But Rodri, man of the match.
Rich?
Yeah, I can't disagree. I think for the 90 minutes. Now Alan makes Victor Meldrew look cheerful. He's unlucky Alf from the Fast Show. No, I agree with
the man of the match. Jesus, Rich, where are you going?
The other one I'd call out, who I quite liked today, who was everywhere and caused a lot of the problems to Newcastle with his movement, was Bernardo. I thought he had a quietly very good game.
Quietly impressive game.
He was popping up all over, and he was pulling Newcastle's defence around. So
I'll go one better.
If it wasn't Rodri, I'd have gone Bernardo.
I thought that was his best performance of the season, and it's gone way under the radar. That, and I think Bernardo's had a very up and down season. I think this has been Bernardo's most up and down season for a few years.
Yeah,
but today, I thought he's massively gone under the radar. Massively. Because that goal was just out of this world. And the other things he did, the running off the ball, he's dragging players out, was causing Bruno headaches. I just loved everything about it. So, yeah, for me, I went Rodri. Because I just thought, part of me thing for Rodri was, I've never seen him move as quick in a long time.
Well, he might have De Bruyne's diet. He might be on De Bruyne's diet.
Well, someone give me this diet. Pat, who was your MOTM?
Yeah, I agree with Ozzy. I think Rodri was a standout. Honourable mentions to Phil Foden, and of course that cameo from Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, we'll get to that, Colonel, next week. Super no Sergio. We're going to listen. This Thursday one's going to cause real ruckus, as I can just see it already.
There'll be an argument just for the formation.
Yeah.
No, we will agree on the formation before we go live. That we'll agree on that before we go in.
So we're going to be about half an hour.
We'll just be on a rolling delay.
Yeah, they're going to say there will be. Everyone be patient because we'll be late.
Expect a rolling delay.
We'll see you at 11.
God, rolling delays. God, I feel like I'm back at work.
Yes, there will be at 12:30. David Silva, great little play, but rounded up. I just think I'm so calm, and I think we'll win the league. I think we're hitting our straps. I think, like I said, I think it will be between us and Liverpool for the league. That was one of our difficult fixtures, especially because Newcastle have only lost 2 this year at home. And by the way, it's the first time in a long time they've lost 2 home games on the bounce. They don't normally do that. So to me, I think that sent a little message out today. And you saw what it meant to Pep, the players, the fans. It was like a rerun of Istanbul. I know that's going to sound so OTT, but I've never seen Pep and the players that emotional after the game. They was like, wow. You know, when you get that come to Jesus moment, that here we go. You know, last season we had the 115. That today was just like, we're going again. And Pep, do you know what I think he's with Pep? I think he sat there going, these are going again. They're not stopping. I think Pep's waiting for the cliff to fall off at some point, and he's like, they're going again. They're going again.
I think there's a part of that club is like, I wish it wasn't another 11, 12 days before we play again.
I think
there's some of them. I wish I was playing another 3 days' time.
No, do you know why, Pat? Because who's going to have a little meeting with somebody while we're off to Abu Dhabi. Pep will have a nice little meal with the old Sheikh Mansour, His Highness. While you're there, Pep, how much do you want in the summer? Okay. Here's a little 3-year contract. Thanks very much. See you later. We'll all go off on our own little merry way. Telling you now, his contract.
I was the first to call it, man. We're going to see contract renewals. Yeah. We're going to see more. We're going to see maybe some transfers pick up a bit of steam.
I think it's the best.
Potential transfers.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm buzzing for it to go over there.
Our season kickstarts now. Do you know what I mean? That's the platform. That's what it meant when you were talking about these players, you know, and this manager just celebrating like Istanbul all over again. It's them ready to kick on and win the rest of this league. And who knows what else?
Go on, mate. Sorry.
I'll just say, who knows what else? Because I think they've got it under them now. That's it. That's
after what you did on Thursday, and you're coming out with that comment. I don't want to hear any treble talk whatsoever. Trebles are banned on this channel until we get anywhere near the damn thing.
Give it a couple more weeks of these results, and you'll be changing your name to Treble Daddy.
Well,
Treble Daddy.
I wasn't going to say it, but he's just.
Yeah. We're not doing it. I'm not doing it. I can't. I'm not going emotionally going through that again. I cried for 10 minutes live on air last year. I'm not doing it again.
That's right. You're only cry for 5 this time.
Get that Kleenex ready.
Hey.
Well, we've been talking about Wood all night, so.
Please talk about first half, Martin. We did. Rewind all the way to that last.
In the first half of the show.
Yeah, the first half of the show. We talk about the first half because we got slagged off for being negative in the comments, and we're not. That's the way we do our post match. We go through the whole.
We try to go in chronological order.
Calvin Phillips, best player ever. Anyway, it's been an emotional one. We're gonna have. I'll tell you what's coming up. We're gonna be a little break now. We'll be back. If anything breaks beforehand, we'll come back. But Thursday night, like you said, we're going to do the mid-season review and the Pep 11. And then on the Saturday of next week, this time next week, well, a bit earlier, we will be doing our quiz night where you will be giving a limited chance. Oh, Mitch's dog's getting involved in it. Of a £50 gift voucher for the first prize, a £25 gift voucher for the second prize. And we'll also give away, and the only thing is, I have to give it away to somebody in England, the UK, the medal, because the cost of postage is huge. And that's the problem, sadly, on that one. The medal, but you do have to be a subscriber, that's the only thing. But the £50 gift voucher and the £25 gift voucher will be to worldwide, because it's a gift voucher, and all we'll need is your email. I think that's everything. Is that everything? Yeah. If you can smash the old like button, that'd be amazing. There's been over 1.2 thousand of you already on tonight, which I can't thank you enough. I'm ignoring it, Rich. That's why I'm ignoring you. I can see it. I'm not blind. I'm just ignoring it.
It's the thought that hurts.
Yeah.
Martin's
Yeah,
now. It's not.
Have you ever seen? Just ask the question. Have you ever seen a walrus flossing?
He's lost for words. I love it. Martin is lost for words.
Oh, he's just praying it's
He's
not his
too
last
busy typing,
thought.
and that's why.
He's just thinking Chris Wood has.
Yeah.
No, I don't want you there. Hang on. There you go. Right. There you go.
As long as it's mentioned, I don't mind.
Right.
Oh,
anyway,
hang on. In
have
that
a
case, there we go. That's better.
Have a lovely evening. I hope you've enjoyed that. There will be a Twitter space at Horsey Sitter. Get over there in about an hour or so and we'll have a chat about it. But I hope you all have a great evening and we'll see you all very, very soon. Smash the like, hit the subscribe. And City win. A cracker. Take care, all.
Good night.
Rich,
Bye.
absolute donkey.